president orders high-powered inter-ministerial task force to seize equipment, revoke licenses, arrest locals and deport foreigners in illegal mining.
Seize equipment used by those who fail to comply with the new directives of obtaining licenses or renewing their licenses. Arrest and prosecute anybody, both Ghanaian and non-Ghanaians, involved in illegal small-scale mining. Deport non-Ghanaians involved in illegal small-scale mining. Revoke the licenses of Ghanaians who have subleased their concessions to non-Ghanaians against the rules. Revoke the licenses of Ghanaians who have engaged the services of non-Ghanaian miners in the small-scale mining sector in ways that are contrary to the rules. Your mandate starts now.
The Defense and Interior Ministers, backed by 3 other colleagues, are tonight launching a full onslaught against illegal miners. But will it work? We'll find out.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
Top Story is brought to you by Bond Financial Services. Your success, our passion. Belacra Mineral Water, the new generation mineral water. It's also brought to you by Lifebuoy, still 100% better germ protection. Also brought to you by Blue Rose Limited, Shelter for All, and Star Life Assurance. After months of killings, gun battles, and bloody conflicts, President John Mahama is taking action to stop both foreigners and locals from engaging in illegal small-scale mining. The president today inaugurated a high-powered inter-ministerial task force to flash out all illegal miners. Here are the president's demands of the task force. Listen.
Seize equipment used by those who fail to comply with the new directives of obtaining licenses or renewing their licenses. Arrest and prosecute anybody, both Ghanaian and non-Ghanaians, involved in illegal small-scale mining. Deport non-Ghanaians involved in illegal small-scale mining. Revoke the licenses of Ghanaians who have subleased their concessions to non-Ghanaians against the rules. Revoke the licenses of Ghanaians who have engaged the services of non-Ghanaian miners in the small-scale mining sector in ways that are contrary to the rules. Hold MMDCs and their respective DISECs accountable for illegal mining activity in their areas of jurisdiction.
Now, President Mahama was clear. His intention is to prevent the illegal mining menace from degenerating into a crisis.
I've witnessed even greater devastation that Galamsey is causing to some of our water bodies. As if that were not enough, there have also been very heavy casualties and loss of lives. Many of our young people, have lost their lives in mining accidents in these illegal so-called Galamsey areas. In addition to this, there is now arising friction and conflict in which we're seeing people being murdered, gunned down, as a result of Galamsey activities. Foreigners also involved in this illegal activity have also lost their life. We do clearly have a problem. And as a government, we have been working to prevent it from degenerating into a crisis.
We can now speak to the Deputy Information Minister, Murtala Mohammed. Thank you, sir, for your time here on Top Story. Now, I grant the President the tough talking, but we have heard this before. Ministers, the police, even the military have all made similar pronouncements, and yet we saw little actual results. Why should we repose any trust in this task force?
First and foremost, good evening to your cherished listeners. I think that, yes, you have had such tough talks before, but I don't think that we have ever heard that from the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. This is the first time His Excellency the President is not only talking talk, but he's indeed given specific instructions and directions to the ministers involved and the agencies involved to do something as quickly as possible. It is also important, Ivan, for the people of this country to understand one thing, that the issue of illegal mining is a challenge to everybody. It's a challenge to government, it's a challenge to private persons, it's a challenge to communities within which these unfortunate activities are going on. So it is the cosmic concern of all of us. Now you realize that agencies and the government and various ministries have indeed been engaged in doing everything possible to stop this unfortunate cancer. This is the first time something like that is being done, such that in as much as we have the military, once in a while we have a military sweep or the police sweep. Once in a while you have the Ministry of Energy intervening. Once in a while you have the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Or if you like, regional coordinating councils or district coordinating councils engage in that. Government has realized that in as much as it is a bit effective, it will be more effective if we have a coordinated effort of this action. And that has occasioned the task force that His Excellency the President inaugurated today.
You pointed to the fact that this is the first time the Commander-in-Chief is directly addressing the problem. Do I get you saying that merely because it's coming from the Commander-in-Chief, it will work?
No, I'm not saying this is the first time he's addressing the problem. In fact, His Excellency the President has spoken about this galamsey, or if you like, illegal mining, severally. He has indeed expressed his absolute commitment in ensuring that this thing is stopped. I'm saying that having a task force in this nature, involving all the stakeholders, if you like, involved in it, I think that this is the first time we haven't that. And it is very clear that the directions or the instructions given by His Excellency the President that it wouldn't be business as usual. His Excellency the President, I guess, in every opportunity he gets, he would indeed indicate his commitment and directed various security agencies to act as quickly as possible to ensure that needless lives of Ghanaians are not lost, to ensure that water bodies are not destroyed, to ensure that livelihoods of people are not destroyed, to ensure that security is maintained in areas where we have these unfortunate acts going on.
If this task force will be so efficient in dealing with the problem, I'm wondering why it's coming now.
I have no doubt in mind that it will be efficient. Like I indicated, we've had the military, and your station has reported severally, the military and the police intervening and ransacking, if you like, or even arresting people who are engaged in this unfortunate act. What is now happening is that there is a need for a coordinated effort. And you realize, His Excellency the President indicated that they will be reporting directly to the Chief of Staff.
I understand that. My question really was, why is it coming now if we knew this was the solution to the problem years ago, after months of lives being lost, gun battles, etc., military people's lives being lost? Why is it coming now?
Samson, I don't think that anybody thought earlier that the kind of measures that were put in place were not effective. You realize that the police indeed going into making some arrests did help. But to what extent did that achieve the needed results that we wanted as a people? And I'm saying that in as much as you had this police, you had the military and other agencies who were indeed engaged in ensuring that these unfortunate incidents stop, government would want to yield absolute results. And in yielding absolute results, there is a need for such coordinated effort. But that is not to say that government didn't know there was a need for something to be done. Indeed, something was being done. Indeed, like I said, your station reported police having sweeps, arresting people, and even some people foreign nationals being deported. It is not just only about arresting. It is also about caution. It is not illegal for someone to engage in small-scale mining. But you can only do so through the law. You can only do so by being given a certificate. Now, if you have a certificate, as His Excellency the President indicated, and your certificate has expired, you have the right to go and renew the certificate. But if you don't renew the certificate and you are engaged in that act, you are engaged in it illegally.
Let me move on to the key subject of resource. I know the task force have been given a very tall mandate dealing with a very complex problem. Has the task force been adequately resourced to execute its mandate?
Evans, you know that the military have engaged in that. They have the needed resources to do that. The police already have resources to do that. You have the Ministry of Environment, who indeed may not be directly engaged in terms of execution, but it falls under the ambit of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. It is not just about providing any needed resource. The fact is that there is a need for some coordination. Now, if you have 3 individuals or agencies engaged in something individually, and you think that it is about time we started coordinating the I don't think that you so need another resources to do that.
Okay, can you stay on the line for me briefly? Because I've been joined on the line by the campaigns coordinator for the Integrated Social Development Center, Dr. Steve Mateo. Thank you, sir, for your time. Now, a high-powered interministerial task force to deal with illegal small-scale mining, is that the solution to the problem?
Well, thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. Indeed, it is a partial solution to the problem. The law is a law, and it needs to be enforced. There's no point having the law if we are not ready to enforce it. I think the law prohibits illegal mining, and therefore it's high time we got our act together to enforce it. But we need to also understand the problem we are dealing with. It's not just as simple as it appears to be. Now, there are two types of small-scale mining we are talking about here. The illegal, also known as galamsey, and the formalized. Now, no matter who is involved in the illegal, that's galamsey, we need to deal with it, national or foreign. And we need to make the law work. We need to prosecute violators of the law. Now, the law prohibits galamsey, and that is why we need to get serious about making prosecution and sanctions serve as deterrent for others who might be tempted to get into that business. But while I welcome the move to kind of repatriate foreign nationals who engage in galamsey, we need to also find a more workable, a more sustainable way of dealing with the problem insofar as our nationals are concerned. You rightly noted that in previous times we've actually embarked on such aggressive moves to kind of curb the situation, but these haven't been sustainable. And this is where we need to re-examine the strategy. I don't think force alone can deal with the problem.
And I think we got a cue of that from the president himself today, because he has some questions to ask today. We didn't get answers to that, but I want to bring his questions to you and see if we can get some answers for me. This is what the president said.
The question we ask is, how do these heavy equipment get to the sites where this mining takes place? Who import them? Who sell them? Who transport them to the various sites? It is my expectation that the police would follow these leads and help remove some of these equipment that are causing such destruction in our environment, to either confiscate, disable equipment, conveyor belts, water pressure systems that are not licensed to do that activity by the appropriate authorities.
Now, Mr. Mateo, the president was talking there about the heavy equipment we've seen lately in the small-scale mining business. That, he says, that's where the problem really is, because that is giving the opportunity to people to destroy an environment on a massive scale. And asking questions about where are these coming from? Are these easy questions to get answers to?
Of course they are. They come through our ports. They don't come through any other means. The problem is that a lot of them come in parts, and they are assembled here. That's what our investigations have revealed. Now, they are used in both the illegal sector, but also the legal sector. And a lot of them are used more on the legal, small-scale mining side. And this is where I think we need to rein in our foreign missions, because you find that by and large, most of these foreign nationals that get involved in small-scale mining do so thinking and knowing that they are doing this legally, because the law allows Ghanaians to get involved in small-scale mining. So some Ghanaians who obtain licenses and do not have the capital and wherewithal to get into that kind of business head for China or look for investors through middlemen so that they can actually get into their business. So you have a lot of front-end in the industry.
But I wonder if the commander-in-chief, with all the resources at his disposal, need to ask questions like this, or rather be providing us with the answers.
No, I think we haven't really. It is good he's posing this question, because there are agencies responsible, and I think the Minerals Commission is the agency that should be finding answers to this. I think the Commander-in-Chief needs to put these questions to the Minerals Commission, because that is the regulatory body. And if they have done their investigations properly, they will find that when they issue license to most Ghanaians, they head for China, look for investors. These Chinese nationals come in thinking they are coming to do genuine business, so they bring the equipment and do this business. But the law prohibits. So it is important that we get our foreign missions to put notices across that, look, foreign nationals are not allowed in small-scale mining businesses in Ghana. People need to be, so we need to actually combine the law enforcement with some education of these foreign nationals who come here to do this business.
My apologies, we just ran out of time. My final question is to you, Mr. Muttaka Mohammed. If you listen to the president today, we didn't get an indication as to the time frame for the task force to do its job. Do we know how long they have to do this job, and what is the modality? Are they going to go across the country, community to community, flashing out illegal miners?
Evans, I think that we have police officers everywhere in Ghana. We have the military everywhere in Ghana. We have the Mineral Commission, if you like, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Land. You realize that they have representation everywhere. It is something that is going to be comprehensive and very effective. It's the wish of government that if we can indeed solve this problem within 1 week. But these are not things that you just come out and say, I'll give you the time frame within this time. It should. But I can tell you that government is hoping that within the shortest possible time we should find a solution to this.
Okay, so this will be dealt with in the shortest possible time. Thank you, sir, for your time here on Top Story. That's the Deputy Information Minister, Muttaka Mohammed, LA Head, Dr. Steve Mattel, talking to us about the implications of this particular action being taken by the president. That's it for Top Story. My name is Evans Mensah.